Hello everyone. So I wanted to make a video just on my feelings on cryptocurrency because I've seen that it's just becoming more and more popular and um I'm a UFC fan and I see all kinds of ads for crypto from Coinbase and I just am very kind of just it's kind of just depressing to me that it's still a big thing. So I wanted to explain where I'm coming from and like why cryptocurrency needs to basically just the problems with it. So here's the thing. What was the main original point of cryptocurrency? It's to eliminate the middleman. That's it. You are maintaining a ledger, just like what any financial record entity does. And you need to maintain that ledger without a trusted third party. In this case, the trusted third party is instead the blockchain so that you don't have to rely on some institution. So that's the whole entire basis of cryptocurrency. That's the entire argument. So if that's not true, then it doesn't have advantages. Because if you talk about inflation from fiat and all those kinds of things, it doesn't affect whether or not you can actually compete with the currency because of transaction fees. The whole point was that the banks are inefficient because they take transaction fees. Whereas if you don't have a middleman, you don't need that. Here's the problem. It's always just mathematically less efficient. And this is what I've been saying for God, like 6 years now. It's never ever, no matter what you do, gonna be mathematically as efficient to have a blockchain as a trusted third party, because a trusted third party, all they have to do is they just have to sit there and watch the transaction, right? Like a bank. You just so the whole argument is that it's going to scale and the technology is going to come. Bitcoin is so unbelievably inefficient that it's not even like I can't even say orders of magnitude less efficient than a credit card transaction. Like you swipe your credit card and then that's it. But and then like when you do a Bitcoin, it's like, well, someone's gonna have to do a wee bit of hashing to get that transaction to go through, right? It's the whole point. So it's like they there's this I just feel like crypto, they do this grift where it's like, oh yeah, proof of work doesn't really work that well because it just murders planet earth and wastes resources maintaining a ledger so that we don't have to have a trusted third party. But and then we're just gonna go to proof of stake, or we'll figure out the technology. That's the whole thing. There's like a future promise. It's like fusion, right? We're a year away from it. Okay, let me ask something then. If it's a year away, somebody would have proved it in math a long time ago. You can't tell me that there's not a mathematician who can do it. Satoshi wasn't even he's not even like, if you compare Satoshi to his peers, like who he was and just his peers, he's not some kind of like giga genius. Okay? Like okay, like Claude Shannon, right? He knew mathematically how stuff is efficient way before, I mean, what, in like the 40s or the 50s, like it, you would be able to prove it with math long before it's possible. It doesn't make sense for it to be possible. How can you have a blockchain verifying a ledger and have it be as efficient as just having some freaking program owned by JP, right? You send the transaction, they hold the record, and if it's wrong, you can just, you can just complain. So it's like that's the first premise, is that it doesn't even fulfill its promise. Okay, so let's get on to the real reason. That's not even the real problem. That's just like something that every industry does. So the real problem comes after that. All right, so here it is. So part 2 of the crypto video. um the real problem with crypto is not the fact that it doesn't fulfill any of its promises to get rid of the middleman, because, like, you know, the Bitcoin I got it off the blockchain, freshly minted, clean coins that have never been transacted. And it's like, to do that, you have to really know how the blockchain works, how the tech works. You have to know what you're doing. And so there's always going to be a Coinbase. That's my point. There will always be a Coinbase, a middleman, a bank. Always. There always were, man. I mean, like, and then the miners too, that's consolidated. So the tech that's coming, okay, yeah, Ether's better, but you're never going to get down to what a trusted third party can do. And so you can't compete in the real economy. So as far as store of value, yeah, sure. It's like gold, I have Bitcoin. But it's like gold. It's not something that we're not going to go start using gold coins to start transacting stuff. We just aren't. So you have to look at the price of the crypto, okay? Because a Bitcoin equals a Bitcoin. Like, I still believe that. I feel like I'm one of that few crypto believers left, that a Bitcoin should equal a Bitcoin, and we shouldn't care how many dollars it's worth. We should care how many, we should track it the other way. Like, wow, the dollar sucks because you need more dollars to buy a Bitcoin now. Like, but it's just not, because it's more like gold. It's more like gold. And so it's like, okay, so now you're spending more energy than the entire country of South Africa to maintain a ledger so that you can have digital gold. Okay. My question is, how much is that worth? Because all the speculation on crypto is based on it taking over in the real economy. Not just being gold, but being an actual thing that's used in the real economy for utility. The speculation is based on expected future utility. Okay. So the problem isn't that it's less efficient, because not having a third-party middleman does have use cases. So what a cryptocurrency really needs to be, everybody, and what you really, 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 really need to understand, is fungible. It needs to be fungible. If it's not fungible, it's useless, because you need a Coinbase. Okay, why do you need Coinbase for Bitcoin and Ethereum? The only reason, literally the only reason, is because Bitcoin, for example, just isn't fungible. You have dirty coins, you have white coins, and then you have brown coins. So if a Bitcoin's been used for illegal shit before, like the IRS doesn't let Coinbase use those or hold them. So it's like, that's the end. If it's not fungible, it's over. It's over. That's why it's moved to NFTs now, because it's just over. So, it's like the one cryptocurrency, if you really want to actually be like fundamentals, because if you want to do memeology and follow the speculation, you can do that. You can make a lot of money on Tesla by just ignoring the fundamentals and looking only at memeology. But memeology is a really new ology. It's not even named yet, right? Like, memeology isn't even a thing yet. So you're kind of playing with fire there. If you want to invest in the tech, you have to buy Monero. Monero is what you need to buy. Not Ether, not BTC, Monero. Because Monero is fungible. It has to be fungible. So, Monero is a fungible coin. It's got mixers built in. If you use it to buy a bunch of drugs, a bunch of guns, gamble, do whatever you want to do, the government cannot know unless it really wants to know. So, to me, it's like, that's the tech. Do I own Monero? No, because I kind of feel like the use case. I just feel like 95% of the use case for a fungible crypto is for bad things. And so, what's that 5%? Well, things that are illegal that shouldn't be illegal. Like, in my opinion, online gambling, things like that. But that's okay, so civil disobedience or whatever. That's one thing. But, I mean, the things that Monero allows for are not good. So, if you want to invest in the tech, it'll make money. Like, I would have bought Monero if I believed in it, because I knew, or if I didn't have like ethical qualms, because I knew about Monero a long time before it came out. I've always followed crypto. I've always been very interested in it. And, I knew about Monero, and I knew it was going to take off, and I knew it was going to get the market share it did, and that market share is not going to stop growing. If you just want to make money, you should buy it. Always, right now, buy it. Buy it until it goes all the way, man. All the way. I mean, I'll put it down. I'll bet 10 years Monero is bigger than Bitcoin or Ether. I'll put that down. I'll risk it. But I still don't buy it, because crypto is like, you're talking about something so narrow at that point, guys. That's what I want people to think about. Now you're talking about something very narrow. It's mathematically less efficient, so it costs more resources to do every transaction always, no matter what you do to the tech. It's 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 able to just allow for people to buy horrible things, child sexual abuse imagery, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, and then, so how much is it worth at that point? It's like, it's a bubble. It's a bubble. Because coins that aren't Monero have tons of, have monstrous market cap. It's like, yeah, in 10 years, what are they going to, what's it going to be used for? Please. So, you need to buy Monero. Now, let me talk about Monero, okay? Because that's not the end of my story. There's 3 main points, okay? This is the thing about Monero, guys. I'll pause the video because my computer's been crashing, and so I pause. I just pause so that I can at least get it on the hard drive so that I don't lose everything. So, point 3, at which we'll finish it. All right. Okay, point 3 is that let's talk about Monero, because Monero is the coin that fulfills crypto's promises. Okay, it's the only coin that does it. It is. I don't care what's out there. So, because they proved it with the math. Okay, I knew before they made it because they had the math. They had the math to show that how they could make it fungible. So okay, we'll go for it then. Like, I knew it would work. So, but they weren't going to prove efficiency. They weren't going to prove that they can make it so that nobody has to hash, or nobody has to do this, or nobody has to do that. I mean, no matter what you do, blockchain can be 51% or 60% or 100%, whatever it is. And so there's always going to have to be some kind of proof of work on some level. Like even proof of stake it has to do with some kind of volume of calculation. It just does. Like it just does. It's part of the design. So talking about Monero now. What's the point of a fungible crypto with no third-party middleman? Anonymity. Okay, anonymity from who? What's your use case? Because a cryptocurrency, you have to think of anonymity in tiers, okay? If you want anonymity from your zero tech knowledge neighbors, you need curtains. That's it. If you want privacy, if you want more anonymity and privacy than that, then you need to have a VPN or something. And then if you want more than that, you do this, and more of that, you do this. So a VPN, for example, like a VPN and PayPal is enough for most people, because a VPN and PayPal you can buy whatever like. Most people aren't trying to buy like horrible things, like you want like a bong or something and your state doesn't allow it. It's like it's not the same thing. So I feel like it's for doing things that are really illegal or for people in strict countries. So let's talk about people in strict countries. The main argument is the whole journalist argument that people who are in places that are illegal need it. Okay. Here's my feeling on that, guys. Whatever country you're in, if Tor works, you don't need a cryptocurrency. And if Tor doesn't work, a cryptocurrency doesn't work. Unless you really get, So, it's just like, no matter what you do, if you live in a dictatorship, you won't be able to have the barrier to entry, the amount of tech knowledge that you would need. If Tor doesn't work, the amount of tech knowledge that you need to get through North Korea's firewall without Tor to do anything at all and not get caught is too high. I mean, you have to be one of the best in the world. Like, so it's kind of like, what use case is it? What journalist is going to be able to... They can't use Tor, but they can use a crypto coin. And, and then it's like, if they can use Tor, what do they need a crypto coin for? Nothing. It's like, you just, like... So, they can have money, but I just feel like it's better to just have a bank account in your dictatorship's currency so you don't draw a bunch of suspicion. Like, having all your assets in a thing that you can't, that's totally illiquid, right? If you live in a dictatorship, it's like, oh cool, I have crypto, it's totally illiquid until I get out of here. It's like, what use case is that? You might as well just have some Swiss bank account, right? And use Tor. Like, what's the difference? So that's mainly my point, is we're talking about such narrow use cases. If you want to move on to NFTs, like, people forget with NFTs that they talk about the digital scarcity. NFTs make digital scarcity. That's cool. We can make digital scarcity without a blockchain. The blockchain does the trusted third party. It's digital scarcity without a trusted third party. If there was some kind of open source, if there was some kind of just like public group, like owned by 1 million universities, right? You get MIT and all of them together. It's a bunch of tech kids, and they maintain a ledger that tracks tokens, certifications. And you could have companies like Microsoft or something just recognize in Windows that you need an MIT certification or whatever to have to be on their ledger as someone who legitimately paid for the painting, the art, the article, the text, didn't plagiarize it, verified by the creator, in order for fucking Windows to run the code. Doesn't see the certification in the in the JPEG or whatever, it just doesn't render. Wow, like that's it's so the whole digital scarcity thing. Okay, as soon as NFTs make it, if digital scarcity matters that much, someone's just going to make some kind of trusted third party network, some kind of open source protocol that allows for it, and then just kick the shit out of the NFTs because an NFT will cost $200 and a token that's non NFT will cost, the transaction fee will be like 30 cents, whereas it'll be like half the cost on an NFT. So if you're buying it because you're expecting it all to become more efficient because of proof of stake, wait for the math, because math is literally, I mean, decades, a decade usually, even in the modern era with how fast things go, a decade ahead most of the time. Like, I mean, look at blockchain, a decade more, you know, before. I mean, like, what started blockchain is basically just cryptography, just hashing, just SHA-256. The NSA, the cryptographist, all those people. That's the technology, much older than blockchain. So if it can work, they'll prove it can work with math. A mathematician will do it. It won't be some crypto person. It'll be a mathematician from a university with a PhD in mathematics who will prove it first. Or a PhD in cryptography, which is a PhD in a certain type in math and statistics, basically, I feel like. So, and if you're going to invest in crypto, you really need to learn how it works. Learn it in detail. In detail. I feel disgusted seeing Coinbase doing ads on the UFC saying it's the best money we ever had. Why? You're a bank. The whole point of it being the best was that it didn't need banks. You're a bank. And why are you doing the ad? Because they're raking it in. If you listened, the owner of Coinbase did a podcast interview with Ezra Klein, and you can just listen to it, and they're just another middleman. They want to beat JP and B of A and all them just because they think they're better and less corrupt and less evil. Whether that's true or not, you're no longer talking about the technology itself, because it just ruins the planet, man. Electricity ain't free. It's just not. Even if you use panels and wind, you have to take it from somewhere to make more. So you're maintaining a ledger, using all this energy to maintain a ledger. It's like, at some point you have to realize that the workaround is gonna have value just because it's a workaround, even if the third party is more corrupt than Coinbase, which won't always be true anyways. So yeah, it's kind of like, you really want to learn how blockchain works. The main thing that you want to learn is you need to read Satoshi's white paper, first of all. That's like the first thing. And don't move on until you understand it. Everything in it. You don't have to know how to do the math. Like, forget algebra and all the stuff they're doing, whatever it is. Like, just understand the concepts, why they're doing it. And then understand how it works. Know what a blockchain is. Get to the point where you could code a blockchain almost. Like, write a program for it. And otherwise, I don't think you should invest in it. I just don't, because you can't be knowledgeable unless you're trying to be a memologist. If you're really plugged into the memes and you go on Wall Street Bets all the time, and you go on Twitter all the time, and you're always tracking the next stonk, that's a whole nother ballgame. That's a whole different ballgame. Like, don't conflate the two. That's more like the casino, or not even the casino. God, in a way, it's almost like politics. It's like talking yourself up to get like a huge blow up streak, and then ride the high and hope that the money you get will send your company, make it worth it, make it actually worth its price. So anyway, yeah, I don't play that game though, because I just don't think. I mean, predictability, right? I mean, you want the predictability. So options, trading options is the most predictable thing you can do. So it's about your responsibility. You can wait. You can lose all your whole account in an hour if you want to, but you can also know exactly what your risk is if you want to, because some cool statisticians, really like cool statisticians, made options predictable, like where you place your, based on certain metrics. So they haven't done that with memology yet, right? Not even close. So anyway, that'll close out the video. So thank you, everyone.